Hi everybody, this video is going to be about multiplying radicals. Please make sure that you also have the multiplying radicals practice booklet. We are going to do a few problems off of this booklet because this problem just isn't enough example for this video. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Multiplying radicals. Determine if the radicals can be multiplied together. Remember, radicals must have the same index. So if we want to add or subtract or even multiply, we have to make sure they have the same index. And that's going to be that number that number that hides right up there above the radical sign. In the case of what we're doing in this entire unit, it's always going to be a 2 because there's nothing there. So we're only dealing with radicals that have an index of 2. So we're going to move on to the next step, which is to multiply the coefficients. Remember, the coefficients are the numbers outside the variable. They're the outside numbers. So a -4 is outside on that one, and a -1 is outside on this one. -4 times -1 is just +4. Then it says to multiply the radicands. Well, those are the numbers underneath the radical symbol. So we've got 15 times 3, which is 45. Okay? The last thing you're going to do is any outside number stays outside and any inside number stays inside. So 4 was outside, 45 was inside, so it's 4 square root of 45. Now we can't call this done because we have to make sure we've simplified our work. So we're going to go ahead and simplify the square root of 45. I like to use the cake method because it keeps all my prime numbers listed on the outside of the cake. 45 divided by 5 is 9, 9 divided by 3 is 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and then we have our candle up at the top. Alright, so we have one pair that gets to come out. So last time I talked to a few students about how if I have a pair of people here, it's like they get to go out on a date, okay? They're the same kind of couple, so they're going to go out on a date. And then anybody who doesn't have a partner doesn't get to go out on a date, they just stay home. So, also, don't forget that outside of your radical, you still have this 4, and that 4 doesn't just disappear. It comes down and stays on the outside. So now 4 and 3 are outside, and 5 stays inside. And lastly, you just do 4 times 3, which is 12. So the simplest form for this one is 12 square root of 5. Okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and look at what happens when we have these ones with the parentheses. So if you look at this, it's going to be, here's your paper right here, the full sheet. We're going to work on these two before we finish everything today, and you will have to finish the rest of those on your own. So let's start with the first one. It says 3 parentheses square root of 5 plus the square root of 3 parentheses. So what you're going to do is you're going to do what we've always done, which is just distribute. So the square root of 3 times 5, and you're also going to do the square root of 3 times the square root of 3. Okay? So I like to write them down just separately, and we'll put them together at the end. So the 3 is underneath, the 5 is on the outside, so this one was actually just a simple problem where you just put the 5 outside and the 3 underneath. But here we've got 3 underneath and 3 underneath again, so this is going to be the square root of 9. Well, the square root of 9 is actually just 3. Okay? So now we have positive square root of 5 square root of 3 and positive 3. So my answer is 5 square root of 3 plus 3. Now, I cannot combine these because they're not like terms. Remember, they have to have the same radical in order to put them together. Okay? Alright, so let's look at the next example. It's -3 square root of 3 parentheses 2 square root of 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly what we did before. It's -3 square root of 3 times 2, and then -3 square root of 3 times the square root of 6. Remember, let's write them separately so that we can do each of these separately. This one, the 2 is on the outside and so is the 3, so we're going to multiply those together. So this becomes -6 square root of 3. Here, 3 and 6 are on the inside, so we're going to multiply those together, and nothing happens to this one. So this is -3 square root of 18. Now, I know the square root of 3 is simplified because really only 1 and 3 go into 3. but I still have to simplify the square root of 18. Okay, so we need to simplify this one right here. So I'm going to do my cake, 18, and 2 goes into 18 with 9, and then 9 divided by 3 is 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and I've got my candle at the top, so I am finished. What this means is I have one pair that gets to go out and one number that stays underneath. Don't forget, we still have this -3 that didn't go anywhere, so we still have to keep that on the outside. -3 times, and then this 3 comes out, and the square root of 2 stays underneath. So this is -9 square root of 2, because 3 times 3 is 9. So my two answers that I'm going to put together for my final product are -6 square root of 3 and -9 square root of 2. Notice when I wrote -9 square root of 2, it turned into a subtraction sign. Okay? Alright, so your task is to complete the rest of this booklet and then figure out what is next on your list of things to do. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.